Good morning, Tuesday morning, Garden of England. My goodness, it was hot yesterday, but today apparently it's going to be even hotter. Could be cooler, the dog's barking. So, a few days on from the Canterbury course, a few things crossed my mind that'd be worth sharing. First of all, it dawned on me that that might be my last ever public course, because unless a charity steps forward, it's just not going to happen. But the funny thing is, the charity work that we did the other day, the charity, as it were, had its own hall. So there was no cost to them, there was no risk to them. The risk was that how would anybody turn up? And people did, and they came from far and wide, and particularly from Canterbury. So, and that was a church hall. So it seems to me that lots of you watching this, I mean, surely there are organisations that would benefit from having me there, whether there's 50 in the room or 500 in the room, who've got a venue that wouldn't cost anything. And that's it. Anyway, you might want to think about that and maybe get in touch. Anyway, what's obvious is I could, and I'm thinking of doing it, maybe once we get over the summer, maybe I'll do a live online course again like we did last year. Maybe 2 Thursday nights followed by a Saturday with that now amazing Workshop 3. It'd be just astonishing to be able to share that again. But I suppose there would need to know there was, as it were, a demand. So maybe you can let me know if you'd be interested in participating on a live online course. The challenge I've got, as you probably know, is the reach of the internet where I live here could be a lot better. It's totally unreliable. But I've managed to get something fixed by long conversations with BT. So hopefully it might be better and I can trust it. But anyway, if not, I could probably hire a studio and maybe do it that way. But anyway, so leave that in your thoughts. Again, if you'd be interested, let me know. So there was some really cool things came out of that course the other day. I mean, one of them, and I would love to interview this person, it didn't occur to me till this morning. I should have arranged to see if she'd be up for an interview. A woman came out to share with me. She hadn't done Minster before. She was a newbie, but she obviously was getting what I was talking about. She came out and said to me, 12 years I was diagnosed with life-threatening cancer. And listen to this, I chose not to take any of the treatment. And I decided I would fix it myself. And she said, that experience is you've got to be really brave, because obviously the pressure you're under to go down the usual routes is quite extraordinary. And this woman was vibrant, she was wonderful, the privilege of giving her a hug. Just one of the extraordinary stories. Some of the other things that got fed back to me was one woman who'd come a long journey from Scotland said, I was walking through Canterbury and I realised that she felt sorry for all the people there who had no idea this course was going on. And then someone else said, it's a pity all the people who did get to hear about this haven't come. And one of them, it seems to me, was there's a curate who would have heard me mention this, and he's gone off to study. And it occurred to me in the middle of teaching it just how, if he had come along, and I introduced him to the groundbreaking how to study and how to sit exams methodologies, which, remember, took the schools in Glasgow to get the best results ever in the national exams. And I could go on and on about the impact of Mindstore on education, but nevertheless. But one of the extraordinary things that came out was Jim threw in a new thing with the video. He'd cut in fresh video for me. Now I've witnessed Jim present that in different formats, in different videos, different emphasis, but I've also witnessed him presenting it live or over a beam into a situation where his staff are there. And there's three things over the course of watching various videos with him or being in the room with him that for him are the key Mindstore tools. The first one is the night book, and his use of that is just extraordinary, and he's been willing more than once to let people see pages of his night book from a way back, which led to the manifestation of what was in the night book. The other one is middle of the night programming. It's big for him, which obviously culminates with the programming directly before the middle of the night programmed event. It's huge for him. But ultimately the consultation with the inner coaches, which leads of course to the extraordinary thing that happens in the video. It'd be really good if I could show that again. Because those of you in Glasgow last year, and those of you on the live online course last year who managed to see the video, that he added something new this time. And he shared that he set himself the impossible goal. I mean, what he talks about, and he's inevitably, I suppose, in the beginning, he did set himself big goals, but he talked about them being within his own control. If he applied himself, if he worked the techniques and actually worked at it, he could probably make that happen, those goals. And he did, of course. But then he finally heard, I suppose, what I say to every audience. We're not interested in how. We're interested in why in relation to our goals. And then we set goals that are totally unrealistic, not achievable. Ultimately, we trust that. And he trusts it, and he sets himself the impossible goal. Then what he shared with the audience on the video was that he created in his future screen, he created 20 separate videos, as he called them, programs, of the manifestation of that outcome, where he would be walking along the corridor, meeting the people that were important, actually feeling everything. Now, there was a transfer of an object, and he would feel it, he could concentrate on the colours. 20 separate videos, and he ran them every day. Just takes a few seconds, of course, to build the strength of the programming for an impossible goal. And he set the goal for 10 years. He achieved it in 4.5 years. You know, programming is so powerful, but the specific detail of the future history is so important, and Jim provided that in such a powerful way. Just wonderful. So I would urge you to consider giving me feedback. Would you be up for maybe getting a charity nearby involved? Maybe you're involved in a charity. There's not a lot in this. There's not a big risk. Big risk if you've got to hire a hall. But maybe because of the charity, you've got relationships where halls are available that they wouldn't charge you. And so it's just my flight, my accommodation, that's going to cost you money. Yeah, if I'm coming abroad or going back up to Scotland or something. So that's one thing. And the other thing, of course, is let me know if you're interested in the online course, because I'll certainly do that again. And you know what I would love to do? I'd love to teach Workshop 3 again, especially to the wonderful people who showed up on Saturday. They in a sense, deserve that. The one thing that is amazing about Saturday was the people who 24 years on from their first course, listen to this, humbling themselves to come back and repeat, and being rewarded with new tools and techniques that was my privilege to share with them. I don't know yet, because it was only a few days ago, if they realise the power that exists in the three primary colours and the three primary emotions that are found in that new element in the media room that's only been introduced on the courses in Glasgow or on that online course last year or here in Canterbury. So hundreds of thousands of people have no idea about that tool. It would be wonderful if I could share that again with you. It would blow your mind, but more importantly, if you have never had the opportunity to see the video and to see an extraordinary thing that happened when Jim's using specific Meister tools. Really, really extraordinary experience. Anyway, it's Tuesday. I'm getting on with, yesterday I managed to get a first draft of the notes that I'll send out, waiting on the platform that we sold the tickets on to give me the email addresses so I can send out those notes. I'll sort of go over another draft of them today. It'd be great if I could get them out today to everybody who was there. But anyway, they're on their way, and they'll get a webinar of follow-up material, new material and reminders. So there you go. You know what? Have a cracker. I intend to, even if most of it will be spent indoors with fans on. Cheers now. I'll maybe speak to you tomorrow. Have a cracker. Bye now. Bye-bye.